What's up, guys? Today, I'm going to be discussing the only 4 travel credit cards that you need in all of 2024. I think that these 4 travel credit cards I'm going to talk about complement each other very well, and what's nice about it is that the combined annual fee of all 4 cards is cheaper than the Amex Plat and even cheaper than the Sapphire Reserve. I think this is a great setup that the average person can use because it doesn't cost much, it covers a ton of different spending categories, and also each of the cards has a pretty solid sign-up bonus given the price tag on the cards. And of course, it does come with some sweet travel benefits such as lounge access, global entry, and transfer partners. Now, I do want to emphasize that these are the 4 travel credit cards that I think go very well together, and so this is my own personal opinion. Your mileage may vary, but I do think that this setup can be utilized by pretty much anyone in the game. So let's go ahead and hop into card number 1. So the first card on the list is the Chase Freedom Flex card. The Freedom Flex has no annual fee, and it does come with a decent sign-up bonus of $200 after you spend $500 in the first 3 months. Not only that, but you do get 0% APR for the first 15 months, so it is something you can utilize, but I don't recommend. Now, we have seen some elevated offers on the Freedom card, so keep your eye open for some more elevated offers, but this card is great because of the 5x rotating categories that it comes with. Basically, every single quarter, Chase will have specific categories where anything you spend up to $1,500 each quarter, you'll get 5x back on that category. Depending on what they choose, this can be extremely valuable, and now is a great time to talk about it because here in Q2 2024, the spending categories that are on this card are phenomenal and probably one of the best we've seen. This includes 5x back on restaurants, hotels, and Amazon.com. Honestly, I don't remember the last time we've seen hotels as a quarterly category, and Amazon and restaurants are typically separate quarters, so the fact that this is all in one quarter is just insane to me. And what's even better is that the 5x rotating categories will stack on to the multipliers that are already on the card to begin with. These multipliers include 5x back on travel within the Chase travel portal, 3x back on dining in drugstores, and then 1x on everything else. Now, Chase does it a little weird where technically it's 1x on everything and then an additional 2x on the 3x categories and an additional 4x on the travel within the portal. So stacking the multipliers, right now you can earn 9 times points on hotels booked through the travel portal and 7 times points on restaurants. 7x on restaurants just blows me away. I'm going to be using this card this quarter, no doubt. Now you may be thinking that this is technically a cashback card, which it is advertised as a cashback card. However, with Chase, if you do have one of their annual fee travel credit cards, then you can actually take the points you earn from the Freedom card, and instead of using it as cashback, you can transfer that over to one of those other credit cards for travel. So that then leads me into card number 2, which is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I think this is one of the best beginner travel credit cards on the market for someone who just wants to dip their toe into the travel scene and see what you can really do with it. This card is great because it does come with a $95 annual fee, but that's not too high. And not only that, but it does come with a 60,000 point sign up bonus after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. Those points can be used for travel within the Chase travel portal with a 25% bonus. So technically you're getting 1.25 cents per point, or you can even transfer them out to one of Chase's transfer partners. And so, like I said, once you have a Sapphire card, you can take any points you earn on one of the Freedom cards, move them over to your Sapphire card, and then use those points for travel. That's one of the great things about Chase is you have the option of cash back at 1 cent per point, which is pretty good, or you have the option of travel within the portal at 1.25 cents per point, or you also have the option of transferring them out to transfer partners to get 2 to 3 cents per point. So to help offset that $95 annual fee that comes with the Sapphire Preferred, it does come with a $50 statement credit if you book a hotel through the Chase Travel portal. It does come with a few memberships on the card as well, such as DoorDash Dash Pass and Instacart. So if you do use those programs, then that's great, but for many of us, that might not be very useful. The multipliers on the card aren't too bad, but they do overlap a bit with the Freedom cards. So this includes 5x back on travel within the Chase Travel portal, 3x back on dining purchases, but also 3x back on streaming services and online groceries. So that's a bit different. 2x back on any other travel, and then 1x back on everything else. I would prioritize the Sapphire Preferred over the Freedom Flex though, because you do earn a 10% bonus on any points you earn on your anniversary year. So basically just tack on a 0.1 to all those multipliers, so 3.1 on dining and 5.1 within the Chase Travel portal, that sort of thing, which is technically better than the Freedom Flex, but not by much. This card is great to have though because it does have some solid insurances, including primary auto CDW insurance, and of course, the main benefit being able to transfer those points out to transfer partners. There's a ton of value you can get from those transfer partners, and I do have a certain redemption method I would recommend for your Chase points. I'll get into that at the end of the video. All right, so moving on to card number 3, we're going to dip into the Capital One ecosystem with the Capital One Saver One card. This card is a fantastic all-around everyday card because it has a $0 annual fee, so there's no downside to having the card open. It does have a sign-up bonus of earning $200 after spending $500 in the first 3 months, which is super easy. But of course, one of the best things about the card are the multipliers, as this card earns 3% back on dining, entertainment, popular streaming services, and grocery stores, plus 1% on all other purchases. And right now, there is a bonus 10% on all Uber purchases up until November 14th of this year, so plenty of options to earn cash back with this card. Now, I'm sure you can tell there is a bit of overlap with the Chase cards, but the main points being here are the 3% back on entertainment and grocery stores. Chase does not cover those categories, so using the Capital One to cover those, which grocery spending can be huge for some people, and entertainment oftentimes comes with large purchases for, say, like a concert ticket, so the 3% back on that can be pretty substantial. There is one more category that, again, does overlap with Chase, and that is 5% back on travel booked through the Capital One travel portal. So it really just depends what points you need, whether it be Capital One versus Chase, and which card to use. Otherwise, I'd probably choose the Chase Sapphire Preferred for the extra 10% back. But like I said, the main thing with this card is the 3% back on entertainment and grocery stores. Another note here with the Capital One Saver One is that this card does have no foreign transaction fees, whereas the Freedom Flex does have foreign transaction fees. So just keep that in mind, not to use the Flex overseas. Otherwise, you're good with the Sapphire Preferred and any of the Capital One cards. And now, same thing here with Capital One, that this card is advertised as a cash back card. However, if you do have one of the Venture Rewards cards with Capital One, that does give you the ability to transfer the points that you technically earn on the Saver One card over to that Venture card and use those points for travel with the Venture cards. Which then leads me into the final card, card number 4, and that is the Capital One Venture X. This is my favorite premium travel credit card, as it's easily the most justifiable one, at least in my opinion. And I say that because this card does have a $395 annual fee, but you can actually recoup that very easily with just 2 simple benefits. The first one is a $300 travel credit that you can use within the Capital One travel portal. This can be used for any sort of travel within the portal. So whether it be a hotel, a flight, car rental, whatever it is, that credit will count towards it. So yes, you do have to use the travel portal, but I've used it plenty of times, and in my opinion, it's not very difficult. It's just like any other travel portal out there online, which then just leaves $95 as an effective annual fee. But I justify that with the 10,000 anniversary bonus miles that you get with this card every single 12 months. So you do have to wait 12 months to get the bonus miles, but those 10,000 bonus miles are at least worth $100 at 1 cent per point when used for travel, but can be valued even higher thanks to the Capital One transfer partners. And even though you do have to wait a year, this card does come with a 75,000 mile sign up bonus. So you get 75,000 miles after spending $4,000 on the card in the first 3 months. That's definitely one of the better sign up bonuses on the market, and that easily justifies year 1 of having this card open, let alone the other benefits that you get with it as well. The multipliers on the card are pretty straightforward. You get 10x back on hotels and car rentals booked through the Capital One travel portal, and then 5x back on all other travel within the travel portal, such as flights. But the important one here is that this is now your catch-all credit card thanks to the ×2 miles you get on every single purchase. And now that's not everything you get with this card. The $300 travel credit as well as the 10,000 anniversary bonus miles help cover the annual fee that comes on this card, but you also do get lounge access, which includes Priority Pass, Plaza Premium, and Capital One lounges. You can get up to 2 guests into any of those lounges, and you also get free authorized users with this card. So even though you might only get 2 guests, you can make someone else an authorized user, and they'll also get 2 guests to any of those lounges. This makes this one of the best cards for families, as you can get pretty much anyone into the lounge. This card also does come with a $100 credit for global entry or TSA PreCheck. It has no foreign transaction fees, and it does have some pretty solid insurances as well, including primary CDW, flight or baggage delays, and it also does come with a cell phone protection plan up to $800. And the biggest benefit with this card is, of course, the transfer partners that comes with it. And same thing with Chase. You can move over those Saver One miles you earn into your Venture X account and then use those miles for any travel with any of the transfer partners. So it's a great way to accumulate points and then transfer them out to earn 2 to 3 cents per point, which is like double what you would earn with cash back or if you use the points within the travel portal. So why are these the 4 best travel cards, at least in my opinion? What justifies that? Well, I think that these 4 cards combined are great earners all around because it covers pretty much every single major category that anyone would have. And it's great because you can pool each of the points. So all the Capital One points into one, all the Chase points into another, and then you can use those points for certain transfer partners. And in my opinion, I think that you should use the Capital One miles for airline transfer partners and then the Chase UR points for hotel transfer partners. I say that because Capital One doesn't have the greatest hotel partners, but they do have some pretty solid airline transfer partners. This includes Aeroplan, Flying Blue, British Airways Avios, plenty of different options, but I will say they are missing some domestic options. So I think it's best to either use the points for international travel, or if you do know how to use Transfer Partners Partner Awards base, then you can transfer them out to, say, British Airways Avios and then book an American Airlines flight. Or you can transfer them out to Virgin Atlantic and then use that to book a Delta Airlines flight. So there are still options to book those domestic flights. It's just a little bit harder. And then that's where Chase comes into play. So you can use Chase points for that domestic travel, like I mentioned, such as the portal itself for 1.25 cents per point on any flight. Or you can transfer them out to one of the transfer partners, such as Southwest or even United. That might be a bit more straightforward and easier for some people. But like I said, I personally like to use it for hotel stays because Chase has the best hotel transfer partners, at least in my opinion. That includes Marriott, IHG, and the famous one, Hyatt. Hyatt is definitely one of my go-tos as you can get some insane value with transferring points over to Hyatt, easily 2 to 3 cents per point on many of the hotels within their portfolio. But another thing you can do is transfer out to Marriott or IHG when there's a transfer bonus going on. And technically, if you wanted to, you could add one more card to your lineup, making it a 5-card setup. And you could add one of the hotel keeper cards, such as the Marriott Boundless, the IHG Premier card, or the World of Hyatt personal credit card. Each of those cards come in at around $100 every single year, but it does come with a annual free night award, and that will easily outweigh the $100 you're paying every single year to make it a keeper card. What's great with that is obviously you get the free night, but it'll also come with some sort of status and some elevated earnings when it comes to staying at their properties. Then you could use the Chase UR points to top off your points if needed. So say you had the World of Hyatt credit card and you were 5,000 points short, you could transfer the Chase UR points over to Hyatt and then you still have the Hyatt credit card for the free night and some status. When it comes to Marriott or IHG, I would recommend only transferring the points over if there's a transfer bonus going on, because then the points aren't worth as much. But nonetheless, you can still top off some points there. And of course, there are a ton of airlines that overlap with the 2 credit cards. Some big ones, again, including Aeroplan, Flying Blue, British Airways Avios. And so if you want to combine the points into one program, you can also do that. And that is why I think that these 4 cards are perfect for the average person or really anyone who wants to get into the credit card game, especially for travel reasons, as these cards can be used for some outsized value with travel redemptions, but you can also use them for cash back if that's more your style. Of course, there are some other alternatives, such as the Chase Ink Preferred rather than the Sapphire Preferred, or the Amex Gold card instead of the Capital One Saver One. But these 4 cards are the cheapest and easiest to use, in my opinion, and that is why I chose them. So, do you guys like my travel setup of 4 cards that has an effective annual fee of less than $40 and you're paying upfront less than what you would with the Sapphire Reserve or the Amex Platinum? Let me know what you guys think. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as I would greatly appreciate it. And also check out one of the other videos on the screen if you haven't seen them already. And I will catch you in the next one.